Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. Now let's jump right into some news here. Coinbase. Coinbase comes out to support Ripple. Will it relist XRP? Who's to know? Just their support alone is good, in my humble opinion. If they're going to be filing an amicus brief, I think that's what this is about here. The more support that Ripple gets, the closer we get to closing this case, and the closer I get to the XRP army having to issue me a DD-214. For all of you non-military people out there, military people, inform them of what a DD-214 is. We're ready for this. Tons of large companies have been coming out in support of Ripple. We're nearing the end of the case. They're ensuring that this comes to an end. That's what this looks like to me. They're making sure that Ripple has everything they need and that the people know the truth. Not just because of Ripple, but because of the SEC going against so many different entities. They've made so many enemies that companies hate them all around America, and not just America, but the world. Because remember, the world is following what the United States is doing. Unfortunately, it's that way in a myriad of ways. Their central banks follow what the United States Fed does. And so it's the same where if a certain system is instituted within the United States, then the rest of the world is open to use it, right? Because the United States can pressure you. The United States can punish you. And they don't want that. That's why a lot of institutions around the world haven't gotten in and begun using XRP just yet, right? This is why you heard the head of SBI Remit say what they said. It wasn't just about, well, when that individual said there was a ton of large institutions on the side waiting for a positive outcome to the XRP case. It wasn't, he wasn't just saying that in reference to United States-based companies. That was the head of SBI Remit Africa. So even that entity is not a United States-based company. So that individual was referring to companies around the world. They haven't wanted to step on the United States toes, so to speak. So they've waited patiently. And that patience is running thin. That's why you see everyone jumping in now. They waited until the opportune moment where they felt that the case was going great and Ripple is dominating, that a victory is pretty certain at this point. Now they're jumping in to ensure the victory, right? So let's read this little tidbit here. This is from CoinGate.com. Coinbase, US-based cryptocurrency exchange, has come out in support of Ripple in the XRP lawsuit. The crypto exchange has filed a request in the court to submit an amicus brief in support of Ripple's fair notice defense. However, Coinbase was one of the first platforms to delist and halt trading in XRP after the US SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple. Yes, but there's a lot of theories behind that. And of course, they're going to remain theories. However, the SEC said itself, they said they never requested for it to be delisted. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then there's always the issue of XRP was never meant for retail in the first place. So then you have that. So how do you keep it out of the hands of retail to a large degree? You have it, you just behind the scenes make some phone calls and you have it removed. So there's that. Nothing has changed from the fact that they never wanted XRP in the hands of retail in the first place. That hasn't changed until now. So I don't see why. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they relist it, but I don't see why they would. The SEC never requested for it to be delisted. You see where I'm going? So people just assume, and it's reasonable to assume that they removed it because of the SEC. You know, I have, fiddled with that idea in my mind as well, because nobody wants a lawsuit from the SEC. However, then add on the truth that the SEC went against Coinbase anyway. Then when they did go against Coinbase, a large portion of the XRP army shouted to Coinbase, you might as well relist XRP. Do it. Relist XRP. They're going against you anyway. The SEC is attacking you anyway. And yet Coinbase still did not relist it. So I think it's a little deeper than just the SEC issue. I don't think they want these coins in anybody's hands. Same thing with XLM. Look how quiet they are on some of their partnerships. Look how quiet they've been on a lot of those mergers, which have been huge. They're going to be huge in the future, right? That we've been covering here on this channel. But they're quiet. Why? Because they don't want these coins in retail's hands. Now, they can say all they want. And now I'm just talking about XLM for just a moment. Bear with me. They can say all they want. It's the people's coin and they want to bank the unbanked. Listen, it's a bank coin. They want the big money. They want the big partnerships. They want prestige to say we did this and their names to increase. They want the fame. They want all of that. Algorand is a people's coin. They're actually helping people actively everywhere around the world. Algorand is a people's coin. They can actually say that. But let's not go by what entities say. Let's go by what they do. And so, but I'm just showing that even XLM, they've been very quiet so that people don't get too excited and want to just buy a ton of it. They've been keeping it out of people's hands. And that way, both XRP and XLM, they've been able to keep their prices down. Why? Why? Wouldn't it be more reasonable when it's time to buy everything in sight? It'd be a little bit more easy to do so if the prices are suppressed. So let's read a little bit more here. It says Coinbase alleges wide gap in SEC regulations. As per the filings, Coinbase holds a unique perspective on the issues between the SEC and Ripple. Formally, the crypto exchange has petitioned the commission to provide guidance to the market by making clear rules. It is important that the market participants should have a better understanding and idea of what to expect in the future. Coinbase believes that there is a major gap in regulatory framework built for digital assets. There is. This is also why Stellar has been continuously pushing, I think even up until last week, for the CFTC to take over. All right. That would clear a lot of things up. It says, however, and Ripple has been doing the same with Caroline DeFam. However, Ripple must be granted to pursue fair notice defenses in affairs where it can face surprise enforcement actions like this. Coinbase states that it is a violation of the law that the SEC didn't provide fair notice to Ripple, that its conduct is illegal. I agree with that. XRP, similar to BTC and ETH, well, they hold less than 50% of the XRP supply. So that should tell you everything you need to know, right? That was huge. That was a major thing that they did. And that's going to weigh heavily in this case, in the closing of this case, in the explosion of XRP. It says, it highlighted that back in 2020, the SEC alleged that XRP was, quote, a security. They backed off of that since that time. Now they're just attacking Ripple mostly. We'll see if that remains the same. This allegation alone caused huge harm to market participants. It definitely did. That's what I've been saying for a long time. And others have as well. They destroyed people. People could have been millionaires and billionaires by now. That's not a joke. Seriously. People hold a ton of XRP, XLM. XLM rises with XRP. Algorand, all the bank coins are going to rise together. They're one system. But people could have been millionaires and billionaires by now. And don't get me wrong, people are turning a negative into a positive because they're still accumulating. They want to be, they have what I used to call a billionaire bag. Remember I used to say that I have my billionaire bag? They want to be billionaires now. So yes, they're turning a negative into a positive. The people are good at that. Mental transmutation, right? Mental alchemy. They've been doing that. However, it doesn't change the fact that these people had to struggle for so long because of the SEC. So long that the companies have been constrained, that the people who have been holders of these protocol have been damaged severely by the SEC. And in my humble opinion, the SEC should be held accountable. It's not just about winning this case. Of course, we want that and need that because we want generational wealth. But in my opinion, so this doesn't happen in the future, the SEC needs to be held accountable. But baby steps, right? So this eventually resulted in a $15 billion decline in XRP's market capitalization. We know all of this here. All right, so now let's move on to another article here, all right? So here you have, this is from U.Today, all right? Article title, Ripple CTO declares NFT revolution on the XRP ledger. Now that's powerful. And that's a powerful thing to say because we already have NFTs. So there must be a difference, correct? What is the difference? Why is he saying a revolution? Let's read this little tidbit here. Let's just dive into this, right? It says a new standard introducing the ability to create, mint, and distribute complex. Why? We know why. We know why. I covered in that last video there. I think I covered it, but I was supposed to cover an article either in the last video or the one before that, where we were talking about FX trading, currency trading on the blockchain, on the distributed ledger technologies. Trillions upon trillions of dollars. I think I showed you the screenshot from the Bank of International Settlements. They're already trying to put currency trading on the blockchain, FX, completely. And they admit it. I showed you the article. They save money, they save time. Listen, that's trillions of dollars. That definitely will move the price. We want that. So yes, they're going to have complex NFTs and such like that for the tokenization of something that's moving trillions of dollars. It has to be secure. It has to be easy to issue these things. So that's just an example. They're getting ready for things like that. This is going to be huge, in my opinion. It says, and items, complex NFT applications and items has been launched in the XRP Ledger ecosystem. Ripple's CTO David Schwartz offered his comments on the event. According to Schwartz, while asset tokenization capabilities are not new to the XRPL, the innovation marks an important milestone with which developers and creators will now be able to build advanced Web3 projects with utility. That's huge. Tons of XRP is going to get used. Tons of XRP. Also, the value is going to be locked up. What does it do to that price of XRP when so much value is locked up? Same thing with XLM, but we'll get to that in a little bit. There's going to be a lot of value locked up on the Stellar blockchain, a lot of value locked up on Ripple. I think people are not taking that into account. There's going to be a lot of staking. There's going to be a lot of just outright holding. These protocols are going to be in rare supply. What does it do to that price? Now let's continue on here. This article is from CoinGate and it's titled XRP Lawsuit News Live. XRP lawyer hints early ruling in Ripple lawsuit. The long-running legal tussle between the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and Ripple has reached the summary judgment phase. Both parties have filed motions for summary judgment in the XRP lawsuit. Ripple seems to be getting momentum. They have momentum. They've been doing great. I'm hoping it ends early. I want it to end early. We all do. Okay? But they have the momentum for certain. And now with all of these different companies filing amicus briefs, there's so many, there's a ton of them. We have so much leverage here now. Ripple seems to be getting momentum in the XRP lawsuit as many individuals and firms have asked the court for permission to file amicus briefs. However, Ripple's native crypto XRP price has surged by 37% over the past 60 days due to positive updates from the lawsuit. So then it says XRP lawyer John Deaton, XRP holders lawyer, suggested that if Judge Annalisa Torres decides to review this lawsuit in an expedited fashion, then there is a chance of getting a ruling earlier than that. This is huge. I hope this takes place. Well, we're going to have to stay privy to all of the updates on this, but everybody's going to do that anyway. But this is huge. I'm very happy to hear this. So let's move on here. Okay. So now let's just get into a little bit of Stellar information. Okay. So here, this is on beincrypto.com. Stellar XLM price could be on the brink of a new bull run. So let's just read this little tidbit here and see what they're talking about. It says the Stellar XLM price is giving conflicting readings in different time frames. The resolution of its short-term pattern could determine the direction of the future trend. The XLM price has fallen since reaching an all-time high of 79 cents in May 2021. Since September of the same year, red circle, it has fallen underneath a descending resistance line. Okay, now let me stop there. I'll leave the chart reading and all that type of data to the professionals. There's a lot of great people on YouTube doing chart readings, okay? But here's why I agree with this based on Catalyst. Now, this news here, I hadn't seen this date, and I found this article here very interesting. And it goes as such. It's from verdict.co.uk, and it's titled, Ukraine hopes to launch own cryptocurrency in 2024. So there you have a year, 2024, okay? We know at the beginning of this year, they told everyone, hey, we're still working on everything. We had Stellar come out and say, yes, we're still working with the Ukraine on their CBDC. This is very, very good in my humble opinion. So 2024, this is the year they're saying that they want to issue these particular things. Not only that, then here, okay, so when I was talking about value, a lot of value potentially being locked up on Stellar, remember, you have a lot of different entities which are pretty much, in my humble opinion, are pretty much Stellar. Just, they're like proxy companies, but they're Stellar. Okay, so let's go over it very briefly. Mike Kennedy, who was of was it Interstellar? I think it's Interstellar, which was the for-profit branch of Stellar, went from Interstellar over to Velo. Okay, you remember that? Now, Velo was merging with evrynet. Then who was evrynet merging with? Evrynet was merging with LightNet. All these companies, these major cross-border payment companies, these major digital bank companies, that's pretty much what they are, all are merging together quietly behind the scenes. Now, so I wanted to say that to get to this tweet here. This is from Velo Official, okay? It says, in Q3, we have completed the Every-Velo integration. They completed it. It's done. It says, as a strong union, we have launched the following products over the past 3 months. So then they tell you a little bit about these things. Launch VeloFinance.io, launch Velo Perpetuals, launch Velo Order Book Decks, launch BSC to Solana Bridge. They have a couple of bridges. Provided new staking opportunities. That's one of the things they've been pushing for a long time. Remember, Velo token runs on Stellar. Every account, every wallet, whatever it is, has to hold some XLM. So they're doing this, and they're bringing these opportunities to millions of people around the world from just these companies. That's not even taking into account other companies that are and have built on Stellar, right? Including the oldest bank in Europe. So with their staking that they've been pushing very heavily, that's a lot of value locked up on the Stellar blockchain. And when they're locking that up, those XLM, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, those XLM that they have in those accounts or wallets, whatever it is, they're not moving. They're not moving. And this doesn't even take into account. So this is just evrynet, Velo, LightNet. So let's put them to the side. This is not taking into account all of the wallets or accounts that MoneyGram is going to bring to the table, right? And then that's not taken into account also. I was doing a lot of research today. That's not taken into account also what Stronghold is bringing to the table. Stronghold is Stellar. In my humble opinion, it's built on Stellar. Nobody's paying attention to Stronghold. And they've made major movements, major developments. We're going to get into that. I got a lot for you today. Please click that like button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It makes it all worth it. Trust me. So we move on to this next tweet here. This is from evrynet. It says, with the @Huobi Global Huobi Earn campaign finished, you can withdraw your tokens to Every Finance and keep earning more Velo. So now, once again, the Velo token, which is on Stellar, which every account on Stellar must hold some lumens or a minimum of lumens, and a lot of them are not going to hold the minimum. They're going to hold more than that because they want to see a return on investment of XLM. They know where it can go. Anyway, now evrynet is going to be utilizing the Velo token and pushing that everywhere in their region. Do you see what's happening? It's all coming together. So it says more exciting news coming this week on the merger from @Velo Protocol. Please make sure you follow their account. This is getting very, very interesting, very fast for XLM. These are things people have to stay privy of. Every little bit, put it all together, and you tell me how many billions, up to trillions of dollars will be flowing through the Stellar blockchain and how that affects the price. What does that do to the price? Now, of course, this is going to take time, but over time, as a long-term holder, and a lot of us are, long-term investor, not like a long-term investor, what does it do to that price? And Stellar has, I don't think they've even gotten started yet. In 2023, if the Ripple case ends, I expect an explosion of information. They're holding back because they don't want a spotlight on them. Everyone's thinking the same thing. Let Ripple defeat the SEC and all of us bank coins are in the clear. That's what they're thinking. They don't want a spotlight on themselves. So after the spotlight is gone, after the trouble is gone, the bully has been defeated, everybody comes out, and then I perceive they're going to be issuing a lot of big announcements. Why wouldn't they? So now, anyway, let's move on to here. All right. So then you remember Stronghold was working with IBM. Both they were using at that time. Stronghold was using IBM APIs. Now, IBM took a little bit of a step back from WorldWire at the time because of the that was going on. OK, now I will also say this. I was in contact with IBM today, and I'm waiting on them to get back to me. The contact point that I made said they were going to get back to me. So if they give me anything significant, I'm going to be telling you. OK, so hopefully they can get some significant information. And if they bring it to me, then you're going to have it just like I do. OK, but they were using Stronghold IBM APIs. Now, they have moved on to using their own APIs, using their own everything. Both IBM WorldWire and Stronghold were working together on this FDI insured stablecoin that they were putting out. Now, Stronghold has gone on to get certain certifications. Now, hold on. I'm going to tell you what this is, okay? It's getting very interesting. So Stronghold is Stellar. Just like IBM is built on Stellar. Stronghold's built on Stellar. So let's just get that clear. Bear with me. I'm trying to get all this information out. It's so much in my mind. This is from stronghold.co. Stronghold completes NACHA ACH audit. This just happened. Let's read this little tidbit here. As a leading financial infrastructure company that provides fast, secure, and accessible financial services through a simple API, Stronghold's successful completion of the 2022 NACHA ACH audit demonstrates to its customers and partners that Stronghold has a substantial risk and compliance program, stability, and strong ACH core practices. The National Automated Clearinghouse Association governs the thriving automated clearinghouse network. You tell me why they're doing all this. The Automated Clearinghouse Network. I know you're putting it together. It's looking real delicious right now, isn't it? The payment system that drives safe, smart, and fast direct deposits and direct payments. The ACH network processed over 29 billion payments. What does it sound like is happening here? Do you see? Let's move on. They did something else. I'm keeping my eye. This is why I want to bring this to you. I'm keeping my eye on all of this, on all of these companies. Velo, I'm keeping a close eye on them. They seem to be at the head of everything over there in the rest of the world. Evrynet, Velo, Evrynet, Lightnet are all together. They all merged. I'm keeping my eye also on Stronghold here. Now, let's go here. It's more from Stronghold. Look what they're doing. All of this is since September. They've been going insane with activity. They're getting ready. And once more, every account, every transaction that goes through Stronghold is more congestion and value on Stellar. Every account has to utilize XLM for friction and for security and all that stuff, and just to have an account open. All right, this is very good. So then you have this. Stronghold completes SOC 2 type certification. Let's go down here and read this a little tidbit. Stronghold has successfully completed its first SOC 2 Type 2 certification, validating Stronghold as a trusted and secure technology for its partners, vendors, merchants, and end consumers. The SOC 2 audit completed in September 2022 shows just how seriously Stronghold takes cybersecurity and privacy, thus providing its partners with assurances that the company they work with has a rigorous set of policies, procedures, and systems in place to protect information across security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Stronghold's SOC 2 Type 2 audit was conducted in accordance with the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. They're getting ready for something. Now, so I want to pair this with something else. So you see, all the bank coins are upping their security. They're upping everything. They're becoming better, faster. Hedera, I believe they're the ones who say they have bank grade security. Is that what they said, right? That was what, like a month ago? Then you have XDC. They said they have military grade security, right? They're all promoting their security. Of course, we know why. Bank coins. Just because they haven't announced certain deals and such, they can't. They have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, MOUs, but we can put together the puzzle. You don't do all this just to bank the unbanked. You don't do all of this just to bank the unbanked. You do this because you want to dominate not only in the banking sector, governments, you want to dominate, something I was going to say, not just in the banking sector and governments. There was something else I can't remember. My apologies, everyone. But you get where I'm going with this. Oh, that's what I was going to say. They want to dominate in the United States because they know that the SEC case is almost over, right? You see this. This is why it's all happening now. Everybody's in a rush as bank coins to make themselves as solid as possible, as secure as possible. So when the SEC case is over, it's open season in the United States. And so far right now, the dollar is the most dominant currency for now. We want to take all of that value. There's going to be an insane rush from companies that are building on XLM, companies building on XRP, Hedera, Algorand. It's going to be an insane rush, a feeding frenzy. And that is good. That is good because companies need it right now. The entirety of the world, not just the people, but the companies are suffering. They need the bank coins, and that can theoretically cause the bank coin prices to explode. And I definitely want it. This is insanely good. So it says the SOC 2 type compliance asserts that internal systems and controls of Stronghold are effective at meeting audit standards on a continuous basis while ensuring the personal assets of their potential and existing customers are protected. Now, once again, Stronghold was working with who? IBM. IBM was bringing who to the table? Banks. Banks. Do your own research. You can look that up for yourself. So it's looking good in my humble opinion. Okay, so now let's move on to another little tidbit here. So this is in relation to Quant, because you know Quant was working with SIA Chain, SIA Partners. That's access to over 500 different banks. All right, put that to the side. But we also speak constantly on LAC Chain. So here's a tweet from LAC Chain. All right, and I've been talking about how the bank coins, I think particularly Algorand, is going to dominate in the healthcare industry. Well, it looks like Quant might be dominating in the healthcare industry as well. They definitely need it. They need the security. They need transparency, all types of things. They're going to benefit from the bank coins. But here, let me read this from LAC Chain. It says, tomorrow at Marcos Alinde, technical lead of hashtag LAC Chain, will participate in the roundtable, quote, compliance space, hashtag legal and blockchain, within the framework of hashtag healthcare Congress, talking about how to make the blockchain and blockchain better and from the metaverse safe and reliable realities. So they're talking to the healthcare Congress. We're going to dominate. I mean, listen, It's already, for just personally, it's already unbelievable how dominant Quant has been at bringing in bank partnerships and how they have been at the forefront of pushing CBDCs and such with such a low circulating supply. I love that. Every time I think about it, I love it. But if Quant also is involved in healthcare and you have that QNT utility token, utility coin, however you want to phrase it, in constant use, and not only that, if they decide to use it for payroll, right? Quant infrastructures, which is what LAC chain is using for payroll, things of that on Quant. Just imagine where that price can go. Do your own calculations. Imagine where that price can go. You saw where it went just off of retail. When utility kicks in and you have all of these banks utilizing Quant infrastructures, and if, I'm going to keep an eye on this, this is the Healthcare Congress here, if they land some hospitals, right? Well, you know where this is going to go. It's going to be insane. So I'm very excited about that. So okay, let's move on to another article here. Now, we've been seeing trickles of mass adoption because the large institutions, they are hungry for these bank coins. They definitely are. I love the bank coins more than everything else. Make no mistake about it. And I love gold. And I definitely love silver. I love the bank coins way more. But we've been seeing trickles of mass adoption over time. And here's an article that I think points to that. It says here, massive crypto whales are back in business. Analysts expects major movement. So let's read this little tidbit here. See what's going on here. It says, according to the market intelligence and on-chain analysis firm Sentiment, huge crypto whales making transactions of over $100,000 have just increased. Why? They know something's coming. They know something's coming. Furthermore, the market intelligence firm added that the most, quote, most significant transactions are Tether and USDC. When do people buy tons of USDC and Tether? Right before there's an explosion. Right before there's a bull run. There's a lot of catalysts coming up. I told you, we have election years coming up. All of this stuff, like whether it's partnerships, deals, upgrades, elections, also, all of this can spark bull runs, explosions in price. Especially in the United States, as I think candidates for at least, let's say, presidential elections, I think they can run like 523 days before election. So that's significant. As people get excited about maybe economy could change, turn around, such like that, then those can be catalysts as well. And that's something that I definitely keep my eye on. But they buy lots of Tether and USDC right before a bull run, right before an explosion in price. So let's scroll down here, just read just a little bit more. It says, whales have been busy Monday following the weekend volatility. Perhaps most significant of the assets seen increased $100,000 plus whale transactions are hashtag Tether and hashtag USDC. With large buying power moving, major market movement should continue. That's it. That's all the tweet said. That's all that it said. So we don't know what they're accumulating for. In my humble opinion, I think a lot of them are accumulating for XRP and XLM. I do, because they know that the SEC case is almost over. I firmly believe that. Now, if you look at it, it also makes sense because you see so many people that hated XRP. Now they're a part of the XRP army. Now they want to push XRP. Why? Because they know it's so close to exploding and they know that that's life-changing money. So if you pair that with this, then I would say, I think it's a strong theory that they're accumulating for the end of the SEC case. You tell me what you think. Right? So, and we're going to close out with this article here. This is from Reuters, just to show you mass adoption is taking place around the world. Little trickles of it. Things don't always happen meteorically. Sometimes they happen little by little. It's a good thing, because you want some motion is better than none. This article is titled "Grocery Retailer Pick and Pay to Start Accepting Cryptocurrency Payments." This is good. We also see a lot of activity around the world where if you're using crypto just for just for payments, then they're not going to tax you as it would if you were like a day trader or investor or something. That's also a good indicator of where things are going, and it should be handled that way, in my humble opinion. So also keep in mind of what bank coins, what crypto will be left that will be low fees and easy for people to use if they want to use them just as a currency outright, right? That will be the bank coins. They are the most compliant, the most secure bank grade security, military grade security. Come on, they're fast. You see the people, they're always putting out the speed of the different chains. You have Algorand on there, Stellar's on there, almost at the top. They're very fast. So I think the bank coins are what they're going to be using, and the banks are going to promote it. And even if they're not using the bank coins outright, behind the scenes, the bank coins are the engine of the new financial system. You just can't get around it. So one way or the other, they will be used. And what does it do to the price of them? So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.